So the Sorcerer class has been confirmed, and it's coming with the choices of Draconic, Bloodline, and Wild Magic for your subclass choices. All of you guys that thought it was going to be the Bard, you guys definitely had me second guessing my prediction, but it turned out to be the Sorcerer. Now I've been waiting days for an actual confirmation on the Wild Magic subclass, so I want to give a shout out to Chubla and his recent video for confirming this as he went to EGX. I'll leave a link to his channel below. This video is going to be kind of like a class guide in a way / informational video on what to expect from the Sorcerer class, and when patch 6 actually comes out, I'll of course dive deep into it and do official in-depth class guide. Without further ado, let's jump right in. So the first thing that I'll quickly go over are your ability scores and how you may want to assign your ability score points. As a sorcerer, your spellcasting ability is Charisma, so naturally you want to show Charisma the most love right away in character creation. Many of you guys will probably want to get it to 16 in character creation if possible with your racial choice. Constitution, oh my god, what did I just spell? Constipation? Constipation is going to be, oh my gosh. Constitution, I can't see because of this mic. I still can't do it. The microphone's in front of my face. Constitution will likely be the second ability score that you show some love to, as it's going to help with your hit points, and sorcerers have the squishiest hit die in the game, tied with the wizard. The Draconic Bloodline subclass will alter that. We'll get into that in just a little bit. And Constitution also helps with spells that require concentration, and Dexterity will likely be the third one that you show some love to. Why do I keep saying show some love to? Anyways, it'll likely be the second or third one that you focus on, as it's going to get you further up in the initiative order, allowing you to cast those powerful spells before your enemies get a chance to do anything, and it also boosts your armor class. Alright, now let's head over to YouTube to see some actual footage of the Sorcerer class. And I'll give a quick shout out to channel Kazuliski, as this is where I am seeing this. I'm not sure where the original footage came from, but thank you, Kazuliski, for posting this. So the sorcerers are natural spellcasters, drawing on inherent magic from a gift or a bloodline. So wizards learn spells. Warlocks gain their power from a patron. Sorcerers are born with their spellcasting powers. And as you can see right away at level 1, we get to choose our subclass. You get to choose 4 cantrips, and you get to choose 2 level 1 spells from the sorcerer's spell list. I do want to point out that the amount of spells that you learn as a sorcerer is very limited compared to other classes like the wizard or even the cleric or the druid, which use prepared spells. So the choice that you make for your spells is fairly important with this class. It has more importance here than with other classes where you have a plethora of spells to always choose from and switch between. Now you will likely be able to replace some of these spells as you level up and gain more spells, but generally speaking, you're still very limited in your choice. As this video goes on, it switches over to a closer view of the Draconic Sorcerer. I think it's a little bit blurry, but it clears up. Yeah, it cleared up a little bit. And if you choose Draconic Bloodline as your subclass, you get to choose a Dragon Ancestor at level 1. And you basically choose a color, which is associated with a type of dragon, which is associated with a type of spell. So if you choose Red Dragon, you're going to gain additional benefits for spells that are red, which are fire-based spells. You can also choose white for cold or green for poison. Have a little bit of fun with it. Obviously, red's probably going to be the most popular choice, especially if we get level 5 in early access and start getting the ability to cast Fireball. Now these additional benefits don't come into play until level 6, when you can spend a sorcery point to gain resistance to spells of the type of Dragon Ancestry that you chose, and you also get to add your Charisma modifier to the damage of spells of that particular type. Your choice of a Dragon Ancestor will also come with its own spell associated with that dragon type, which you guys can't see because it's behind my webcam. And it's really cool that Larian Studios is allowing us to choose the design of the scales and also the color of them, and these scales are going to show on whatever race that you choose for your Draconic Bloodline Sorcerer. We also get to choose between different shades of that color associated with the Dragon Ancestry. Alongside having cool dragon scales and choosing a Dragon Ancestor, Dragon Sorcerers also get an additional 1 hit point at level 1, an additional 1 every time you level up after that also, and their armor class number when not wearing armor is going to be 13 plus their dexterity modifier. So other classes that don't wear armor, it's typically 10 plus your dexterity modifier. The Sorcerer gets an extra 3 on top of that, making this the tankier choice if you want to play this class. The other benefits of playing as a Dragon Sorcerer come into play when you hit level 6, and max level is currently 4 in early access, so I'm not going to get into that in this video. Now, if you want to play as a Wild Magic Sorcerer, you have to be prepared to experience some unintended results when spell casting. So if you play as a Wild Mage, when you cast a spell, there's a chance that something else could happen. Maybe that spell becomes more powerful, maybe it turns someone into a sheep, or maybe you end up casting Fireball on your entire party, and that is actually confirmed in Chublot's video that that's going to be a possibility. Larian Studios will probably have an official list of possible random things that can happen when you cast spells as a Wild Mage. We just haven't seen it yet. This subclass right away at level 1 is also going to come with a feature called Tide of Chaos, which is going to be represented by something that you can toggle on and off. I think it's going to work a little differently than how it does in D&D 5th edition, but regardless, if you toggle it on, you're going to have advantage on the next spell that you cast at the cost of that unpredictability of your spells going up. So if you turn that on, you're more likely to land that spell that you cast, but it's also more likely to have unintended consequences, whether good or bad. You'll have to find out. Like with the Draconic Bloodline, the additional benefits from choosing this don't come into play until level 6, so we'll wait for the official game's release. Now, stepping away from your subclass choice, all sorcerers will get something called Font of Magic at level 2, which is basically a deep wellspring magical pool that you can pull from, which is represented by sorcery points. Sorcery points can be used for a variety of different things with this class, and we'll get into that shortly. But first, just let me point out that you can use your sorcery points to gain additional spell slots, or you can even sacrifice spell slots to gain additional sorcery points. Right away at level 2, you'll start off with 2 sorcery points and gain 1 additional sorcery point every level thereafter. And upon completion of a long rest, you'll gain all of your sorcery points back. Now, one of the primary uses of sorcery points is for the level 3 sorcerer class feature called Meta Magic, or as I spelt it, Metagic. You guys don't know how hard it is to type when you have this huge thing in your face. God, that's, oh my God, that doesn't sound right either. If I go over to the Roll20 D&D 5th edition site, this is what we can expect with Meta Magic. So at 3rd level, you gain the ability to twist your spells to suit your needs. So this is what the sorcerer is really good at, is taking a spell and bending it and twisting it to better suit a particular situation, while most other classes can't really do anything like that with their spells. They have to cast the spell according to the spell's description. You can use your sorcery points to cast different meta magic options, but you can only choose 2 meta magics at level 3, and then you get another choice at level 10 and 17, but 17 probably won't even be in Baldur's Gate 3. A couple quick examples and very popular uses of meta magic are with Quicken Spell, and if you're willing to spend 2 sorcery points, you can basically change the casting time of a spell to cost a bonus action as opposed to an action. Therefore, you can cast 2 spells in 1 turn using your bonus action for 1, the Quicken Spell, and then also you still have your action left over to cast another spell. And another popular meta magic choice is called Twin Spell, which basically, if you're willing to spend the sorcery points, you can cast a spell at 2 targets that are within range of each other as opposed to just 1. And if you want to use it with a cantrip, which you can do, it only costs 1 sorcery point, so it doesn't cost as much. And let me add one more thing. You may even be able to use 2 meta magic options in 1 turn. Now, I won't get into that in this video until we see what Larian actually does with meta magic, but you could possibly quicken a spell and then twin a spell in the same turn for extreme power. So I'm assuming that these are going to be the meta magic options offered in early access. Maybe they'll only include a few of them to start, but in the full game, I would think that we'll get at least the majority of these choices right here. Then at level 4, you get an ability score improvement, and most of us will probably boost our charisma up to 18 if possible. And level 5, you don't get anything. You don't get a class feature, but you do get access to level 3 spells, which we might actually see in early access at some point, and that's going to be pretty amazing because you'll get Fireball and spells like that. So we got the Draconic Bloodline subclass confirmed, Wild Magic has been confirmed, and then we should also expect to be dipping into sorcery points with Font of Magic at level 2, and then those really cool meta magic options at level 3, which is what the sorcerer is mostly known for. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Like I said, when we actually get our hands on patch 6, I'll dive in deep and give in-depth quality class guide and not just ramble in front of a Google Docs page. But thank you guys for sticking around for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it for what it is, and I'll see you guys in the next one.